Okay, so this is my new student dialogue, and I had to do the alternate assignment, which meant I was reading this article by Beverly Daniel Tatum titled "The Complexity of Identity, Who Am I?" And it was actually a pretty good article. So I guess the questions I'm supposed to answer about this article are, what are some of my identities? And first of all, my race is mixed. I'm half Hispanic, half Caucasian. And actually my dad is Italian, but I guess I've always just considered it white. I don't know. Religious orientation, I'm kind of agnostic, atheist, whatever. Ethnicity, it's not the kind of same thing as race. Okay, well, half Caucasian, half Hispanic, there you go. Again. Gender, male. Age, I'm 19 years old, and my battery is low. Damn. What a bitch. 2 seconds. Struggle bus. Okay. Right. Age, 19 years old. Ability, I'm not really sure what that means. I consider myself pretty able. I don't know if that means like handicapped. I'm not handicapped. I'm not mentally disabled or anything like that, I don't think. Socioeconomic status. I don't really think that one applies yet because I'm still a kid and everything's kind of handed to me, but based on my growing up, I would say I'm privileged. Probably on the ladder, it's still considered middle class, but I consider myself privileged. First language, English. National origin, I was born here, Seneca, South Carolina, 10 minutes away. Born and raised, been here all my life. Let's see. Which ones do you think about a lot? Okay, well, considering we live in the Bible Belt, I'd say my religious orientation comes into play a lot. Because I don't exactly believe in what the mainstream does. I think it's kind of a crock of shit, but whatever. Let's see. So I guess I think about that a good bit. Race, sure. Living in the Bible Belt, a lot of people are racist down here, and I know there was a new student dialogue about that, like racism today, and how it's kind of subconscious, and you just sort of people stereotype and don't even realize they're doing it. And racism is racism to me. You think that way, and it's messed up. Let's see. Which of these identities do you feel put you in the dominant or subordinate group according to Tatum's article? Okay. I'd say my ability, I guess, if we're talking about being handicapped or not, I'd say that put me in the dominant group. I'd say my gender, being male, also helps out with that. Being dominant. First language, English, I'd say that has a lot to do with it as well. Makes you more able, self-sufficient, capable, I don't know. National origin, born here, I guess that works too. And I guess the ones that would put me in the subordinate group are my race, religious orientation, I guess that's about it. Okay, this question says, Tatum says, quote unquote, the truth is that the dominants do not really know what the experience of the subordinates is. In contrast, the subordinates are very well informed about the dominants. What does this statement mean to you? Do you see it playing out in your life? How? Okay. Yeah, I knew what she meant by that, and it's because if you're not being oppressed, you don't really need to think about you just don't need to think about it. If it's not a problem in your life, it's not something that is on your mind. So people who are white, wealthy, capable, rich, Christian, all that business, heterosexual, there you go. People who fit under all that stuff are pretty much set, and they set the example for how society should be. And they don't have to think about their problems because nobody's, I guess, oppressing them for being who they are. But on the other hand, if you don't fit that criteria in some way, shape, or form, then it is a problem. And whether it's keeping you from getting a job or making you feel excluded just somehow in your head, or just making you feel not as good, then I guess it has a lot more, it weighs a lot more on your mind. So in that way, the subordinates are very well informed about the dominants because they are constantly trying to achieve that, or constantly wishing that they could be that way to avoid oppression, while the dominants just take it for granted and they are that way, and it's always been easy peasy for them, I guess. So yeah, do I see it playing out in my life now? To an extent. I mean, I guess ethnically, like there have been occasions where race has been an issue, not to me but to other people, and that's their problem, not mine. But yeah, like we said, racism does still exist, so no surprises there. Let's see. In the second to last paragraph, Tatum discusses the implications of this article. Talk about your thoughts on this paragraph. Do you agree, disagree? Please refer to some concrete examples in your own life. Okay, I don't really remember what they're talking about, so I'm going to have to look. Second to last paragraph. Okay, that's the paragraph. Okay. It's really short, so I'll just read it. Many of us are both dominant and subordinate. As Audre Lorde said, from her vantage point as a black lesbian, there is no hierarchy of oppressions. The threat and threat of violence runs through all of the isms. There's a need to acknowledge each other's pain, even as we attend to our own. There is a need to acknowledge. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, of course, what's the question? Yeah, I agree. Sure, yeah, nobody's, I'm sure some people are, but nobody's either just one or the other. Nobody's just dominant or just subordinate. Everybody's got their little things that set them apart from the mainstream and make them not what society values the most. So yes, I agree. Referring to some concrete examples in my own life, like I said, I'm dominant in the sense that I'm male and able, and I'm English speaking. I have been. I grew up learning English. I've never been Spanish speaking, despite my ethnicity. And then at the same time, I'm classified as subordinate because of my religious views and my not my national origin, but my ethnicity. So yeah, there's an example from my life. Share any additional thoughts or observations as you see fit. I don't really have much else to say other than Library 100 sucks, and especially because of this new student dialogue bullcrap. I think they should have just had everybody do this article reading and reflection, because if it had been that way before, I could have done this a long time ago instead of the night before it's due. But yeah, whatever. I guess I prefer to do this anyways. And I'm now at 10 minutes, so yeah, that's about it. Thanks.